somebody. I feel my temperature. Everybody loves Elvis, right? Okay, so that's like Burning Love. Like that's a closer. I did like I had a really bad time the other day when we did Mantis. I felt like this one is pretty close, right? Like
You're
Phoenix,
losing it, man.
Burning Love. Like I'm pretty. Or like I'm good. I got it. I nailed it. I'm high fiving myself.
The song you're supposed to sing is "I'm your phoenix, I'm your
Well,
fire, your
yo,
desire."
is that? Okay, so I remain Paul. That is still Jesse. He has not yet like immolated himself and come back as a new person.
I actually will. I'll
Uh,
actually make a cocoon someday.
that's it.
It'll look like a big
I,
leaf that'll come out as a beautiful butterfly.
we
Uh,
are now we're marching onward. We find ourselves in the land of the Phoenix, which we love. Is one of our beloved factions, certainly one of my
yep.
beloved factions. So we begin with Asako Kazuki, who gets sort of my award for just sort of like weirdest guy of just sort of weird to me this one.
Little
I
creeper.
can see yeah, I can sort of see how he's of a piece, right? Here's another sort of Brazilian true engine, and he's got a fear effect and then a thing with compassion, and then they'll just staple on this melee range trait because we're gonna die all the time to everything. And so like I can see how he's a piece, but I just look at him just like
It's
I
definitely like a
don't
tip your head sideways and squint, and it kind of looks like an L5R card. I
yeah, it's like it's a fear 4 that I bowed my guy, but I don't care that I bowed him because he's kind of
here's
worthless. And then like yeah.
here's where I'm at with Kazuki. This is a Death Star platform. So I'm thinking like I give him as many plus force pump spells as I can muster
Nice,
with my
nice.
new spell that says you can't screw with me, and I attack. And you can't melee him, you can't range him, you can't send him home, and you just got a bunch of force, and you see where it gets you.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it's worthwhile at all. I'm sure people are just gonna like jam him into those sort of like take a bunch of battle action, like
Honor decks,
defensive Phoenix
It's
honor
the
decks that just like win the one big battle and he's resilient, he's a Genja, like he's got all these things that you can, he can play all your cards and attach everything, and he's still 3 pH. So like I mean, I could definitely see him like being slotted into a bunch of decks. I just feel like for a card that has all that text,
you should do
you just
something.
maybe do
One
something.
chi too, so like
Like,
the one chi's really kicking
okay,
the shorts because a lot of spells care about your chi.
yeah, no final ruin. Yeah, no sailor's warning. There's a lot of things that are sort of turned off by him.
Yeah,
Um,
but you know,
and like when I look at the 0 Force 1 chi, in like how do you read a card? Like I generally read a card just top down. Like I read the name, the art,
yeah,
like the numbers work. I work top down. So when I see like a 1,
yeah. It's like
you know, I
you're
look at
looking
the
for
numbers,
Kaoketsu,
but you're
and like if
waiting. Yeah,
Kaoketsu doesn't show up,
you're waiting for something. You're waiting for like, oh man, this must have like a really powerful ability or something. Oh, it's a Fear 4.
right? A really powerful limited
God,
ability. That's the other thing. I would never see
yeah,
battle coming next.
yeah. Okay, so that's
So
him.
that's a guy.
I'm
Asako
actually
Nashimoto. I feel like this art is reused.
there's a bunch of reused art.
Okay, well, whatever. He's another resilient guy. Matt Phoenix is definitely getting to a point where it can just play all 22 of its guys are resilient. Have you looked into that?
I have not, but it's real. It's a real thought, right? Like if there will be a saturation point where, if you have a deck and you have a bunch of resilient guys, I doubt there's is like. You think Phoenix is the one? Like Dragon, and you can play the one spell. I can't think like there's
No,
a
I
guy
think
we
I
just
think.
looked at, and there's a guy that makes like the crappy range 2 that we played a while back.
hmm I think there's. I
Oh,
mean,
and
there's a lot
again,
of them. Yeah, let's just turn to
and
my
I
trusty
mean
app.
we
But
we played we
keep
played a
talking about
couple,
this
but
guy on merit of his numbers. I'm gonna do some research.
okay, so it's just a mid-range cost Uganda. I
Does
guess
Phoenix even ever reach for these cards? Like I like
uh,
Phoenix. I play a fair amount of Phoenix, but these like 8 gold for force guys always feel really out of place in
we
Phoenix.
haven't. So we haven't really seen any deck successfully reach for these sort of 4 gold cost, 8 gold blank dudes. Unicorn have one that isn't resilient. Their Shugen's not resilient. It's cavalry. maybe better, maybe worse, depending on how much you value those two traits. But like these cards seem to occupy just sort of a no man's land. Where they're like it's just not like you make this guy 6 gold, and suddenly we're talking about like okay, that's not bad. 7 gold, it's a reach. I can
Yeah,
have that
8 gold is way too much.
But I just feel like 8 because here you're paying for the resilient trade on top of the other things, but like you're not getting an immediate impact from it. So it's like I gotta buy the resilient guy and just hope I can put some spells out and do something.
Right.
With
Well,
it.
the thing with resilient on Shugs is that you lose the spells, right?
Right.
So not as good. I looked it up. There are only 2 resilient Phoenix guys not in this set, so I take it all back. But let's talk about Isuo Fujisawa.
It's something to think about as you go down, right?
Maybe just
like,
not in Phoenix, but something as a thing. This is another one of these. When he comes into play, you get a spell, water. The water stuff. I don't know what they're doing with the water stuff. I don't like the water.
Oh, this guy's great. So, like, I built my deck around playing Rise from the Ashes and having Shiba in play so that after I use my Rise from the Ashes, I can just reattach Rise, right? But that gets a little tricky. So this guy, I can just use the new Phoenix box and, like, use my Rise and then dishonor him, separate him, buy him back from my Stronghold, use my Rise that way. Like, that's totally a thing, right?
Totally, yeah. No, it's all good. He's 5 chi, and you can attach Sailor's Warning. So I think my initial blood to this guy is tempered a little bit by the fact that he does make recursive range 5s.
So there's a spell now that you put it on him, and then you use the spell to put up the 5/4. Like also perfectly fine.
Yeah, he carries Stones of Purity pretty good too.
Right, great with Stones of Purity. So in fact, you can combo the 2, go up to 5, down. Hey, that's 10 over here. I'm 10.
Surprise.
And equipping a spell from your hand or that's like if you like giving discipline to a bat, like a lot of spells now are just blue bordered strategies, right?
Yeah.
Like Sailor Warning is like so it's like you use your Sailor's Warning and then and then the next turn you attack and you reserve this guy in and attach this. It's great in a certain type of Phoenix military deck.
Agreed.
And he's a water guy, which matters for this sensei, but let's not talk about it.
Let's not talk about that. Yeah, I got focus on the negative too soon. On second run through, he looks a lot like the dragon,
like Tamori,
Breaking Bad guy. Yeah, the Tamori Breaking Bad, and I like him a lot. And so this guy's even got an extra point of force. So rock on with his bad self.
Oh, I think the reserve is not to be like the combo of reserve with the interrupt. I feel like deserves that's good. That's a real thing.
Yeah, Iso Hibana. We liked +1 range attack on bows. I don't know if I wouldn't like +1 range attack on spells, aside from the fact that it's a 10 gold guy.
Well, I actually think so I played basic Hibana, so there's a little bit. This is a thing that happens in L5 where you develop attachments to specific personalities or cards, and you want to play them. I love basic Hibana. I just did. We all have our faults. I think you're focusing on the +1. I think gaining Conquer while you have a fire spell, and more importantly, the fire spells for 2 less gold. Like I think those are important.
No. Well, I was going line by line.
Okay, I think they matter, and for me, like the last one's the most important in the men, like the way. But
yeah,
I actually
she's got 3.
I think
she's got 3 awesome trades.
I want to say what an elemental dragon should be because I don't want to admit I want to set my bar a little bit higher than that. But I actually like this Hibana. I think it speaks for a certain kind of big super unit. And there's not that many great fire spells. The gold cost doesn't do you a ton. I guess Dragon's Talon is already reduced by 1 when it goes on the fire guy. So you can play 3 Sailor's Warning and you can play 3 Dragon's Talon.
She gets Burning Spear for free.
She gets Burning Spear for free. Would have been 1 gold, but now it's free. So you can build a deck that's get all your spells and throw it on her, and she's a conqueror, and she just attacks, and that's the thing that happens. So I'll give that a try.
Yeah, I'll play that deck.
I like this about any card that has me thinking about a deck that's slightly different. I've played Tsukimi's unit decks, and so this is another card that I can sort of put in that vein.
For sure.
But now
it's cheaper.
I find myself thinking about a lot of different fire spells. and sort of like how, like, if I stack them all up and get a synergy, does that make a really cool thing? Like, that's a good card. Now, I don't think that deck's going to end up being very good. I think I'll make it and then get sent home to favor a lot or something like this. But
well, we have the
this.
spell that when we get to the spells, we'll talk about the one that makes you like the bubble can't touch this MC Hammer spell.
No, because that only works on Airship Ninja, and she's not.
But Temple
like,
of the Elements is legal, and we're doing this.
Oh, okay. Well, now we're like, this is what happens, man. Like, you stay up late enough, and the crazy ideas start to sound plausible.
Iswa Nobuo.
I play Super Mario sometimes, who's Kawako, who's 2, 3 for 4, so I'll play this guy sometimes, but there's nothing going on there. It's
I don't know.
You're trying to play a low to the ground Genja deck, and you want to make sure you have a saturation of things. I don't care about the keywords. I just care that it's a cheap Genja 2/4. Like,
yeah, the problem is that 5 gold on a lunch Genjas are everywhere, and it turns on your 2 for 3 gold. So this guy's actually a little more expensive in that respect. Honored Sensei, yeah.
Yep.
So I'm unimpressed. I think a cheap Shugenja really ought to bring a lot to the table when he's competing with 5 gold naval,
Well, and like competing, and you've got Super Mario's 2/3 and who's void and can gain multiple keyword traits, but so like that's nice. And then you've got the 1/4 civil dude who's got naval, and so this guy's he's bringing expendable, which is the way you make this guy Destin, and we can have a conversation. But I make it expendable.
You play this guy Destin, and I'll start figuring out ways to put him in. I'll work for him. The way it stands now, I've never put him anywhere. Okay, last one. We've got Shibahano. Who cares about pole arms? It's the keyword game.
Pole arms. I feel like we're getting pretty deep.
We're going deep. This is going deep. The fact that we've separated spears from pole arms.
It's like heavy. There's like a limit. Like, are we going to get to we did Tessin already. Tessin's pretty obscure, but there's been in the course of the game. I remember there was some other lion guy that would like search how to be tested from your deck in like gold edition. So like I think there's some sort of historical.
That's right. Lion has a historical attachment to Tessins.
Like pole arms just aren't like this isn't a thing that is commonplace. We don't think about pole arms. We need to stop soon.
I just like they clearly cracked a D&D book and like went to the weapons section and just like, oh, this one isn't a keyword yet. Like, let's put that. Like, I'm waiting for the guy that cares about morning stars.
Well, the fact that the one like the Tetsubos, I think all heavy weapons they're not keyworded as Tetsubos is like, well, that does like is a pole arm also a heavy weapon?
Is there a single legal pole arm? I need to go look. I'm sure there's one in the set, but previously. As a guy, I have nothing to say about him. You can flush him and buy him with your box.
So if he flushes, becomes dead, buy him with his box. You make a melee too. Gains an honor if you kill something.
Like I get the deck he's supposed to be in. He's supposed to be in some kind of Phoenix honor deck.
Defensive honor, yeah.
But he doesn't bring a lot of tools to that table.
He's supposed to also work in like some sort of Samurai Shugenja hybrid, but that's not a deck. There's no reason to have that deck. There's a couple of Yojimbo cards, but he doesn't interact that favorably with them. If we still had our sensei.
If we still had our sensei.
Oh, sensei.
So Phoenix, a couple big hits. Play Hibana.
I mean, is that I guess the Fuja whatever as well was sort of a hit. So like. More of the same for Phoenix, but I thought Phoenix was really well positioned and they didn't really perform up to my standards. I probably should have went to more and played them. Yeah, but I like what Phoenix got. I'm fairly, but I think they don't have the same. They didn't get. I think that's some magistrates. We just didn't waste our mentioning it. I feel like their themes aren't as. Like, the teams are a little bit more cohesive. So, yep, I was very pleased with the
Okay, this has been enough talk. I'm Jesse, that's Paul. Let us know what you think of Phoenix, guys, in the comments, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Okay, everybody.